improvise. If you can, I want to apologise about a list of things. I have a list. Firstly, my voice. I am under the weather at the moment, so I usually sound about 12. I usually sound like a very, very young child. My voice is usually too high-pitched for you to hear. Unfortunately, because I'm a little bit unwell, you can actually hear me speak. This is my low voice. You're welcome. I am sorry. Secondly, if I am here to deliver science, I also have another thing to apologise to you about, because I'm here to speak about herbal medicine, and a lot of people have very conflicting opinions about herbal medicine, its history, and its uses. So I'm originally from Ukraine, so I want to incorporate that into my talk, because Ukraine is a very strange land, and when I actually had to research this a lot. I don't know anything about my country. I'm a bit ashamed. So when I started researching herbal medicine in Ukraine, there's one article that described it as the magic that the Cossacks used, and I wish I was joking. I'm not joking. They called it magic. So that's, some people may call it science, some people call it magic. I don't know. You take your pick, but. Herbal medicine has many places in the society, some good, some bad. I don't want to discourage people from it. I mean, everyone is different. But when I was at home, when I used to grow up in Ukraine, it was very funny because there's pharmacies. So here there's pharmacies, and then there's herbal medicine shops. They're very, very separate things. In Ukraine, it's all one. It's all together. You go into a pharmacy, and everything is basically herbal medicine. And the pharmacists are very well educated on the different Latin names and everything, whereas if you go into a pharmacy here, it's not as common. It's also not as common to have your mother slap a leaf of lettuce on your head when you have a headache. Also, I wish I was joking, but it's common in Ukraine to take a leaf of lettuce and put it on one's head, because apparently it helps for headaches. Did you know? Now you know. So I don't know, my aunt used to tell me that it's the chemicals in the lettuce, that if you press them really hard, it helps. Some call it placebo. But herbal medicine does have a place in the society, especially historically. I also started researching where it came from, and originally herbal medicine was medicine. There was no there was no contemporary medicine, and Ukraine was actually really cool because apparently it was the hub of medicine. The first hospital was opened up in the 11th century, and there was this man. His name is Yuri Dubrovich, and he was an astronomer, and apparently in the 11th century and 14th century, a long time ago. A long time ago, people used to just be so highly educated. So this man, not only was he the main doctor of this massive piece of land, he used to deliver lectures to Copernicus. True story, true fact. You can Google it. Google will deliver the link that I read. But it's very strange. And they told, another thing that I read was that the Cossacks used mint leaves and marijuana. I don't know how to pronounce it. Weed. The Cossacks, the old soldiers of Ukraine, used to smoke a lot of mint mixed with weed, and that helped their health. Herbal medicine. And another thing, herbal medicine actually. There's a lot of bad things, the leaf of lettuce. Jesus Christ. My childhood was great, but there's so many people in Ukraine are actually really, really well educated on herbal medicine. They actually know where things come from. But then when you research contemporary, I have a degree in medicinal chemistry, so that's another reason I'm here. I don't know why they handed me that piece of paper, because, you can ask Maynooth. I don't know. Apparently I don't know anything. Anyway, so it's just herbal medicine. Old medicine used to be herbal medicine, and it's so cool because a lot of the medicinal things that you use today are derived from plants, your aspirin and everything, that came from bark of a plant that's in my butt that I can't remember. Another thing, they gave me a piece of paper, they gave me a degree, but I have a shit-ass memory. But and another thing is nowadays no one another fact of the day. 40% of Americans would opt out for herbal medicine. Like, America is a really vast land. I have a short memory, so I don't know how many people live there. But 40% of a big land, that's a lot of people. And 70%, when they go to the doctor, they don't tell you that they're using herbal medicine. They just don't declare it. And there's so many common misconceptions and like myths about it. And a lot of the myths being like, oh, you know, herbal medicine is an alternative. Or that you can use it as complementary. So you can use your regular treatments, but you can also use herbal medicine on the side. Herbal medicine does not cause any side effects. True or false? False! Did you know? Now you know! Holy shit! Please read! There's just so many people. There's this massive tradition of if somebody does something for a couple of years, like 100 or 200 or 1,000, I don't know, that people tend to follow that. People tend to believe everything that an elder did, and sometimes it's very accurate. I mean, like, because Ukraine is such a big place, like geographically, a lot of the communities are very, very scattered. Roads are sometimes a thing, not always. I wish I was joking, I am not. It takes me 24 hours to get home. Another fact. Oh, middle of Europe. But anyway, yeah, sometimes roads are a thing, sometimes they aren't. So communities are really far away, they're really dispersed. So people would like assign an elder that would go out and really understand and learn the like herbal medicine and like different plants in their vicinity and actually use the nature around them. And a lot of times it was very useful. It was like they actually knew what they were doing, and a lot of the times they slept a leaf of lettuce on your head. I have a couple of quotes that I want to read out. Again, awful memory. Yeah, seriously, I tried to memorize them, I did. A lot of people are very skeptical about herbal medicine, and personally I am myself to a point. I feel like you need to really read and research what you're taking, because, you know, herbal medicine doesn't have any side effects, and herbal medicine doesn't interfere with anything, and when you put it in your body, it doesn't hurt you ever, and you can't overdose in herbal medicine. Did you know, if you like take all these plants, they definitely make you better. But there's this man, and he goes to Trinity. He had a lot to say about herbal medicine. He said that nailing a brick to a wall would have been more useful and effective than taking herbal medicine. You know, some call him skeptical. And then he also said that plants have been trying to kill us, not save us. And his name is, I can't read my writing. Yeah, Dr. Henry Oakley, College of Physicians. But I do have actual useful examples of a time where herbal remedies actually became medicine. Because it's like I said, there's two sides to the story. No, hang on. I have another good example of bad herbal medicine. In 200 AD, what they used to do to cure epilepsy was they used to pick up a root, and not any root, and they used to tie it around your neck, and they used to think that would cure epilepsy. Like, they used to do that to people. They used to tie a piece of wood to their neck. They're like, here you go. That's you done. You're cured. Yeah, but then another reason that herbal medicine is not so great is because, a long time ago, people used to take shapes of leaves and shapes of trees and assume that they actually helped an organ. So there's this thing called the blue liverwort hepatica, which is shaped as a liver. So they thought that it cured hepatitis and anything to do with liver disease. It did not. So sorry to break that news to you. But yeah, see, disappointing. I'm so sorry. Apologies. But what I do want to tell you about is where's my Chinese one? Here we go. Learn to read your own handwriting. So there's this plant called the star anise. So what they did was they found out that it actually, they made a cure for swine flu and bird flu from this plant. And it's the contemporary cure that is used today, like today's society. And they found it out using herbal medicine. Yeah, so it's used to make shamatic acid, from which tamifin treatment is made, which is the treatment for today's bird flu and swine flu. So, you know, there are actually good applications to herbal medicine, not just slapping lettuce to your head. I keep bringing it up because it's so ridiculous. I wish I was joking. I am not joking. My mom's going to watch that video and she's going to give out to me for telling all of you about what she made me do for a long time before I did a chemistry degree. And then I told her, I waved my piece of paper at her and I tell her that she's wrong. And I am right. I want to tell you one last thing which I found really interesting. Oh, hang on. Let me find it. Is it this piece of paper? I'm also short-sighted. Yes. The tough life. Yeah. So the Egyptians, what they did was they used this thing called quinine, which used to treat renal colic, which was found in the 1920s. And it's a plant, but they found out through that it dilated your urethra. So the thing you pee from. Did you know? Now you know. And as a result, drugs have been developed like angina and cardiac arthritis, so like regular heartbeat. So through that, in the 1920s, before that, they didn't know what caused it and how to treat it. And through herbal remedies, they actually applied it to contemporary medicine, and they found this out, which is, it's fantastic. It has different applications. No. Yes. There's a lot here, look. I prepared. I tried. Give me that. Just gonna get back on my tippy toes so you can hear me again. So, and then another last fact of the day, and then I'm gonna slide away to my seat. So the 16th century GP William Withering found a patient cured of heart failure after taking this thing called foxglove, so it's a plant. And he would not have been able to find out that what foxglove contained was, my bad handwriting, a chemical extracted from foxglove, now modern day heart medicine, digoxin. So the modern day heart medicine that used to treat heart disease today would not have been developed and would not have been discovered if this man did not go to a herbal remedy person, doctor, knowledgeable man. It wouldn't have been discovered. So not all herbal remedies are bad if you actually apply some scientific concepts to them. If you research them, if you consider what is made of them, there's a lot of really cool things in it. And then my other advice is don't slap lettuce on your head. Thank you.
Oh, that was Martha.